this Board of Equalization meeting for Utah County, March 30th, 2023. Just as a reminder for anyone coming to attend the meeting, try to remember to sign in at the back of the room. There is a log for people to sign in. We are required to keep that, so just a reminder there. With that reminder, we're rolling and we're good? All right, then we will get started. Commissioner Gordon is excused for us today. He had a flight that was delayed and he is still in the air. He will try to join via phone when his flight lands, if we're still in a meeting.
We'll see if we dentist in the back.
Yeah, we'll see if we can remind the folks back there that there's a hole in the wall and we have a meeting. Pardon the background construction noise. All right, so we will proceed with the agenda. We will, unless Commissioner Gordon is able to join us, we will suspend rules so that I can second motions so that we can move forward with a quorum. All right, with that, we will get started.
Okay. 1 through 4 were administrative. I reviewed those. I don't have any particular questions on any of those, so I'm happy to motion to adopt all 4 of the first 4, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, then I'll make a motion that we approve items 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. All right, on to item number 5, approve or deny the reinstatement of the primary residential exemption on the parcels listed on the attached spreadsheet for tax year 2022. We have.
These are properties that had the residential exemption removed, mostly because they failed to respond to the residential declaration process, but they have now submitted an application and proof of residency. And so the assessor's office would recommend that we accept these.
Yeah, some of these were previously tenants and now primary residencies, and some were just...
They're either currently occupied by a tenant or the owner. In Utah, both can qualify to receive the residential exemption. So things like short-term rentals or a secondary residence, meaning you've got a vacation home somewhere else, you can't have the residential exemption twice.
Yes.
But a tenant can qualify for the residential exemption. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gone. Yeah, I think you had 20-odd numbers there today. I can make a motion to approve agenda item 5.
All right, I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. Item number 6, approve or deny petition to the Board of Equalization to hear the appeal for property valuation after the filing deadline for parcel 0292. Owner of record is listed as Breeze Living Revocable Trust.
Yeah, this is, the appellant is requesting a consideration based on the factual error. So the auditor's office defers to the assessor's office to agree or disagree.
It's close, but yeah, there probably is a factual error that we can address. So I would recommend opening it.
Okay.
And with that, I'll make a motion to approve unless there's...
Yeah, I will second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. Item number 7, approve or deny petition to the Board of Equalization to hear appeal for property valuation after the filing deadline for parcel 0002, owner of record listed as CJ Properties LLC.
Just because Clarissa's already gotten comfortable again, this is another factual error that we're going to defer back to the assessor's office.
So this property,
I should.
the structure is partially finished, or
Yes.
unfinished, excuse me.
This is actually commercial, which is why I sat down, but I'm not seeing them here. So they informed me that, yes, this one should be opened for, well, then it's yours.
Someone's speaking up.
Yes, this one should be opened for a factual error.
You concur.
Sorry, Merlin.
You know,
I'm glad I
I
didn't
don't
see
get
you.
to get up to the podium very often. It's my turn this year. Peter can't be here. This is Merlin Ethington stepping in for him, and what she said is correct. There is a factual error that needs to be addressed.
Thank you, Merle.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Then I can go,
Better job.
I'll make a motion to approve
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 7 passes 2-0. Item number 8, approve or deny petition to the Board of Equalization to hear appeal of property valuation after the filing deadline for parcel 0004. Owner of record is listed as Clegg Carrie D.
So the owner was requesting consideration based on failure to notify. They listed the county had their address wrong and they were not getting their notices. Looking at the warranty deed and the notice history, I can see that there's definitely an address mismatch between the recorded deed and the address we sent the notification to. On the deed, it does list Mapleton as a city. On the county's address, we have Springville, and the notice was returned undeliverable. So obviously, sometimes it doesn't matter, but in this case, it did. So yeah, definitely, we definitely missed that one, and should be opened up for that reason.
All right.
You don't do that very often.
Nope.
I'll make a motion to approve agenda item 8.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. Approve or deny petition to the Board of Equalization to hear the appeal of property valuation after the filing deadline for parcel 0276. Owner of record is listed as Woodside Homes of Utah LLC.
This one is probably another computer glitch. I had a good long conversation with the appellant. They had originally filed an appeal that has been working its way through the process, but the appeal only contained 5 parcels. They attempted to actually appeal originally 45. And speaking with the appellant about how that happened, we're not quite sure where it happened or how it happened. But given that I know the system was having glitching issues this year because of the website refit and stuff we didn't get fixed before we had to start the appeal season, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that we probably should let this go ahead and be considered.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve agenda item 9.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. Item number 10, approve or deny the application for new property tax exemption for IHC Health Services, Inc. Personal property account number 106429.
Okay, we've got Vicki Westergaard on remote and Adam back on deck to go through the next several agenda items for the board to discuss the whether or not the exempt organizations applied will qualify. The first section here, of course, all the new ones, and then we'll get into the charity plans for the medical properties, and then finally the continuing statements for religious, educational, and then charitable.
Quick question, who put together the PowerPoint?
The PowerPoint?
Yeah, that was
Vicki
sent
put
to us.
together that PowerPoint.
Vicki, you did a fantastic job. It's very rarely that I see a PowerPoint that is visually, aesthetically pleasing here in government. So you paid attention to detail, and I appreciate that, and it was noticed. All right, moving on.
Thank you. Can you hear me? I'm calling from Louisiana.
We can hear you, Vicki.
Okay. So this first one is IHC's application for personal property account for the Lehigh Primary Children's Hospital. They put on their application to be determined, so I was able to contact Paulette and get a number for them. I did invite someone to come to the meeting today, so there should be someone there.
Do we have somebody here from IHC to represent the primary children's, maybe online? Is there anyone raising their hand online? All right, let's promote them. Nathan Runyon?
Yes, Commissioner. This is Nate Runyon with Holland and Hart. Can you hear me?
We can, thank you.
Very good, thank you. I also have with me Maria Cruz with Intermountain Healthcare. Lisa Paletta, who is the administrator for the Lehigh Primary Children's Hospital. She was going to join, but she had a grandbaby that was just born in Missouri, so she's not able to join today. So I apologize that she's not going to be on for this meeting. This application relates to the personal property for the Primary Children's Hospital. You'll recall that a few months ago we appeared before the commission regarding the Spanish Fork Hospital. There was an issue with the original application, both with Spanish Fork and the Primary Children's Hospital, that it wasn't specifically noted that the personal property was included with the application. So out of an abundance of caution, we filed another application request for Spanish Fork. We're doing the same thing here for Primary Children's. The difference here is with Primary Children's, the hospital is still under construction, so there's no personal property there yet. But this application before you is the original application for personal property an application for real property was submitted in 2021 that was approved by the board. So this is just to make sure we're clear that we've applied for personal property and real property. And as Vicki mentioned, we do have an account number now. We appreciate that being issued. So there shouldn't be an issue of an account number. We have it, and we can submit the annual statements now with that. Right now, there's no personal property at the facility. There won't be any purchases until possibly later this year or early next year, as the hospital is under construction and will be operational in early 24. The plan is March of 2024. So with that, the hospital will operate for charitable purposes just like the other hospitals in the county, and there shouldn't be any differences. We're happy to address any questions or any points regarding the charitable nature of the facility. A charitable plan will be submitted each year when there's actual personal property at the facility. So with that, happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Yeah, we have no questions. We do appreciate two things. First, that we learned from the last issue and that you're proactive on this one, and we're working together to resolve this ahead of time. So that's fantastic. Thank you for that. And second of all, as the county with more children per capita than any other county in the nation, we are very excited to have a primary children's location coming here to our county to serve our abundant number of children that we produce. Being the mother of 6, I can say that.
I'm the father of 6.
Yes, so
3, so.
So
Are
thank
we
you.
promoting
And-
population explosion here? Is that
well,
what
it
we're
just
doing?
happens naturally
Is that what we're
here, right? I mean, our attorney's office, there's almost an unwritten rule. You have to have at least half a dozen children to apply to work in the attorney's office. So we do appreciate very much that all of us that have children that get seen at primary children's will no longer have to drive to Salt Lake County to do so. We appreciate that. So thank you. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Beyond the levity, I'll make a motion that we approve item number 10.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. That passes 2-0. Thank you, Nate. We appreciate it.
Commissioner, this is Vicki. May I ask?
Yeah.
May I make a note to IHC that their charity plan is due by tomorrow? The 31st is the last day we can receive it.
Yes, thank you, Becky. We're aware and coordinating to get that finalized and sent over. So thank you for the reminder.
That shouldn't
Okay.
take them
Bye-bye.
long.
Great, thank you. All right, item number 11, approve or deny the 2023 application for new property tax exemption for Holbrook Community Center, serial number 0002. Vicki?
This is on, I guess was it 2100 North or something out. It's almost across the street from the Lehigh Primary Children's Hospital. That the Holbrooks are building this community center that will be to educate and for artistic things for disabled children.
All right, and we do have a representative
so-
here in the room with us if we.
Hi, Vicki. Thanks for helping me. Hello to everyone else. I'm Michelle Holbrook. I am the president of the Holbrook Community Center 501c3. And should I tell you a little bit about the project? So we are building a facility across the street from Primary Children's Hospital. It will serve individuals with disabilities, but we have a unique situation with this building project that we will donate the facility to Lehigh City and we'll have a dual usage agreement for the facility. So we didn't want to build it and have a minimal usage. We wanted to share it with the community. And so that usage agreement is in the process of being taken care of and signed. You know, we're going back and forth and working on that. And the facility will be finished at the end of the summer. And so I don't know, I kind of wasn't behind the 8 ball on this, but is there any chance, so we did not apply for exemption the last 2 years and we have paid $25,000 in taxes, but I don't know if that's just water under the bridge and it's done. I did bring those items, the things with me.
So I think at this time, if anything, that would be an abatement, but that's not what is on the agenda today.
Okay,
And I'm not sure, we would have to look at the specific situation. Would they work through the assessor's office for that? Oh,
They'd
They'd work.
work with me. I can get you a couple emails and we can.
and we can see if you apply, if you
perfect. So
qualify.
I'm applying for this upcoming year.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
Okay,
that
So
would
yeah,
be-
we can take care of this year now, and we can look to see if you qualify for an abatement with the attorney's office afterwards.
I appreciate that very much.
Vicky and Bert, did we check every box on this one?
I just had a couple of questions. You mentioned that Lehigh City, you have an agreement with them that they'll be able to use that at some points. How often would Lehigh City be using the facility?
So it would be a little bit less than 50%. We'll use it during, well, the agreement isn't completely signed, so it's not totally legal, but I can tell you what we're talking about. So we would be using it during the daytime hours from 9:30 to 4, and then we would have it 2 evenings a week on Mondays and on Saturdays, and then they would use it in the early morning and the later afternoon hours and for 4 evenings of the week.
Okay. Because the lease agreement is with a tax exempt entity, we don't have the same heartburn as we would if they were leasing out the agreement to, for a profit. So that's all the questions I have.
Do we have any other issues?
I don't believe so. There's just the question about whether the use by Lehigh City would constitute like a for-profit designation, but we're talking about a nonprofit leasing to a tax-exempt organization. We have the same situation with a couple other organizations, specifically the Care and Share United Way, and I can never remember who's leasing to who, but and Vicky has also found enough supporting case law where this is really a non-issue. So.
Okay, no one, we can entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve agenda item number 11.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Right, number 12, approve or deny a 2023 application for new property tax exemption for the Rural Housing Development Corporation, serial number 0049 and 0035.
This is rural housing. They have 2 parcels that are multiple acres, and that they're doing their normal, going to build subdivision. But I'm going to leave it to Adam. We had a few questions that he was going to ask.
Yeah, is there a representative from Rural Housing Development that's here today?
Do we have anyone online?
I don't currently see anyone raising their hand online. Typically, that's Brad Bishop. I don't see him here. We would have sent a notice to them. If they filed their application through our new online system, they got both an email and a letter. If they only did it by paper, then Vicky did send them a notification telling them to be here.
We have a statutory deadline, or?
Statutory deadline would be May 1st, so if there's some questions, we could continue this to next month.
Okay, why don't we
Yeah,
do that?
the questions that we have is that it appears that the property could be vacant, and if it's vacant, then they would not be eligible for the exemption. However, if they could provide us with information about a building permit, or if they're putting in curb and gutter, that would tend to show that they are actually working on it. And so that would be information that I think would be valuable to get from Mr. Bishop.
Yeah, with rural housing, of course, it always hinges on when construction is commenced, because they're basically acting as a subdivision developer, and then they have individuals that come and build their homes on that and that kind of stuff. So we need to know where they're at in the process, and I don't think we've got that information yet.
Okay, so maybe we can continue this to the next meeting? Okay.
Yep.
I'll motion that we continue to the next BOE, whatever date that is. Do we happen to know what that is by any chance? April 20th?
Yes, April 20th.
All right, I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion passes 2-0. And then let's make sure we reach out to them so they know that we've got those questions before the next meeting. Item number 13, approve or deny the 2023 application for new property tax exemption for Boys and Girls Club of Utah County, personal property account numbers 014175 and 014682. We do have a representative here from them.
They presented an application for 2 personal property accounts. I assume they're for new buildings where they are having the Boys and Girls Club, but the representative will be able to answer that.
Thanks, Vicki.
Hi, my name is Jenny Ostriff. I'm with the Boys and Girls Club.
Jenny.
We're just applying for personal property tax exemptions for our administrative offices, where we're doing all the administrative work for all of our locations. And then our child nutrition warehouse in Springville, where we're operating our packing and prepping meals for about 5,000 kids every day.
Okay,
5,000 kids a week,
Every day, we're doing about 5,000 meals,
5,000.
Out of that
Monday
warehouse.
through Friday, Monday through Sunday,
Monday through Friday.
so 5 days a week.
Yep, 5 days a week.
fantastic.
Madam Chairman, if I may clarify, these are for two locations that you're leasing space. These are not
Yes.
owned locations.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're renting the spaces.
So it's personal property. Okay.
Thank you.
I have no other questions.
I have no other questions.
I'll make a motion that we approved item number 13.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. Item number 14, approve or deny the application for new property tax exemption for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, serial number 0058, 0306, 0461, and 0524, and 0005.
These are the new applications for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I did note that one of the ones that's the welfare farm, one of the latter numbers was not on Greenbelt, so
Right.
there shouldn't be any problem with that.
And
And I did
046.
invite Kelly Taylor if she's there.
I don't see her online either. I don't have anyone with their hands raised.
Vicky, to confirm, 0461 and 0524, those are for one construction project?
One parcel, is that what you're asking?
There's two different parcels. It's the third and fourth one on the agenda item. Those are for one project. Did I read that right? They had them
Yeah, they
combined.
on one of their, if I remember correctly from the pictures that they provided in their documents, there was one that had two separate numbers, so it must be combined.
Yeah,
It must be
okay.
crossing over from one to the other.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I have no other questions beyond that.
I don't believe that the auditor's office has any lingering questions, and I don't think that, Adam, do we have
I
anything?
do not have any further questions.
Okay.
Okay,
The only problem is someone has to appear before the commissioners,
yeah. If we don't
unless you
have-
want to do away with that.
No,
for this one.
we can continue it if we need to.
Yeah, I think, yeah, go ahead, Paul, sorry.
You can waive their appearance now. So if you don't have any questions, you could entertain a motion and
Can we waive
I
it?
do
Ken?
have one question for you as my attorney, if you want to come up here real quick. Oh, sidebar, sorry. You can listen too. You're the- Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we continue item number 14 for them to be able to come back and appear.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-0. Approve or deny a 2023 application for new property tax exemption for Brigham Young University, personal property account number 3309.
This personal property account is for the Riviera Apartments that BYU purchased last year that will be used for like a dorm. And so this is for their personal property account. They were already approved for the land. And I believe Paul Larson, maybe, is who's supposed to be there.
Anyone here?
Is there anyone here from Brigham Young University? Anyone online?
There's no one raising their hand online.
Then with that, I'll make a motion, we continue that item until the
I'll
next BOE.
I will second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. Number 16, approve or deny the 2023 application for new property tax exemption for Utah Regional Housing. Serial numbers 0002, 0006, 0017, 0013, 0015, 0002, another 0002, 0017, 0018, and 0001.
Let's see, I do
Now,
have-
Is Miss Sharon?
Shannon Daly.
Okay, you're there. Good.
Yes.
So-
Shannon Daly, CFO, Utah Regional Housing. And I also have Doug Carlson. He is our interim executive director.
Okay. Adam, do you want to take this?
Thank you very much. And thank you for appearing, Shannon. I just had a couple questions. On the parcel number ending with 0002, based off of the application, your organization states that building is currently vacant. Is that currently the case, just to confirm?
And that is University, 300 South University, or 360 South, excuse me.
No, I think we're referring, Adam, this is Bert Harvey. Shannon, we're referring to the unit 33 East, 400 South in Provo, unit number 2.
Number 2, yes.
Okay, sorry, let me just look. We've got a bunch of units here.
And remember, there's 2 002s, so we have to identify which parcel we're talking about.
For the record, to clarify, the parcel that we're, in reference that we're asking for clarification on right now is 36-449-0002, located at 33 East, 400 South, unit number 2 in Provo.
Okay, that's the one question. Okay. Thank you.
It is currently vacant, that is correct. It was being rented at low income, but the tenants have left. And the nonprofit is trying to decide what they're going to do with that property.
How long has it been vacant? Does that have any bearing to this?
Shannon, can you
That I
provide us
don't
with how
know.
long that's been vacant?
Yes, not right now, but I can get back to you on that.
The concern that we have is, as your organization's mission is for low-income housing, right now the building is not being used exclusively for a charitable purpose. It's just vacant, and it's my understanding that it's going to be sold. And so right now it tends to suggest that the property is not being used for a charitable purpose at this time.
That is correct. That is definitely a plan. So we would understand if that was denied.
And with that,
Were there any other properties that we had any questions on?
Yes, but maybe parcel number 0006 is not specific enough. I'll have to find the full parcel number.
That's 04077.
That also in the same location.
Same location. Is that currently occupied?
No. Same situation. Those are in the same development.
Okay.
So there was a plan. These were to be part of a community land trust project that's been delayed.
Okay.
So
just to be clear, the property is vacant, but that you are moving towards selling the property?
probably.
Okay. Okay.
One way or another, we are in the process of getting a 501c3 for our community land trust. Once we receive that, then we will be selling the property to a low-income family.
Vicki, is there anything else that you would like to add here?
Oh, on the application, and I can't see that information, there was one that said it was being rented at market value. And I did look up HUD's fair market values for Utah County, and it appears from the rent rolls that Shannon, they sent me, that it is being rented at lower than the fair market value.
Yeah, Pam probably meant fair market rents, which is what HUD calls their low reduced rents. So she probably meant that, not market value, because none of these are rented at market.
And I did check all of the other properties and compared them to what I could find on the HUD website, and they were all less than market value.
Thanks,
So there was,
Vicki.
Madam Chair, if I could, if we, since there's likely that we're going to deny, possibility that we deny one of these, I might recommend that we continue this for next month, because I would like to make sure that if we're going to deny one, that we deny the correct one. Because it seemed like there was a couple of properties, and based on the notes I've got here, and me and Adam's and Vicky's discussion previous, I'm not totally clear which one would probably be the one that would be denied, the ones that are vacant that potentially could be sold. So I would appreciate if we could get some extra time to just clarify that with Shannon and then come back to the commission so we have that list completely clear as to which ones would be possibly denied.
Yeah, I think I would be okay with that, and knowing that they appeared this time, they don't have to appear next time once we've worked out which of those properties it is.
Exactly.
Okay, I would be fine with that.
Yeah, make a motion that we continue, and that would be all the properties we're speaking of here in
Yeah.
this list, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion, we continue item number 16 to the next BOE.
Thank
I'll
you.
second.
I think I fixed that,
Yeah.
but.
Okay, that sounds good. And then, like I said, you won't have to appear next time since you appeared this time, but we'll just figure out which numbers are which.
Okay.
All right, I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes.
Thank
2-0. Thank you. Number 17, approve or deny 2023 application for new property tax exemption for Restoration Torah Family Assembly, serial numbers 0001 and 0002.
Commissioner, Madam Chairman, let me give you a clarification on that. We happen to have made a mistake on this agenda item. The serial numbers that are actually in the application are 36-285 0001 and 35-018 0002. So.
Okay.
My name is Joshua Erickson. I'm representing the Restoration Torah Family Assembly. And I'm new to this, so what questions do you have for me?
So really, just tell us what you do and how it's a charitable or
Okay.
nonprofit
Yeah.
organization.
It is a new church.
Okay.
We have been operating for a number of years, but just decided to go ahead and apply for these exemptions.
Are you a 501c, or what's a church?
501c3.
Three, it is, okay.
Yes, but not registered with the IRS, as we're not required to. The IRS automatically recognizes churches with that designation. We are registered with the state of Utah, though. So these are these two properties. The one 0002 has actually been used since 2016 as a charity house. So we've had 10 families there, just by word of mouth, who have lived there temporarily while they get into better financial situations. The other property, 0001, is our main meeting location, where we have weekly, monthly, and yearly meetings. And the church is interested, especially in the Israelite connection to Christianity, and especially specifically to the Restoration. So we do consider ourselves a branch of the Restoration churches, not the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but we are friendly with all the other branches of the Restoration. Next week we're having a Passover celebration, and the land there is actually used we have a small herd of sheep from which Passover lambs are selected, for example. And we typically have, at the weekly meetings, something like 20 to 30 attendees. And then for the feasts, like Passover and Tabernacles, we typically have 70 to 100 people attending.
Do you use the property for any for-profit activities?
No,
So you don't rent it out or anything?
it's not rented to any other organizations. or anything like that, yeah.
And that was all my questions.
I do have a quick question here. You said one of the buildings is used to house members of the organization?
The charity house, which is in Orem, I think it's the 0002. I don't know if I put the right number of zeros there. It's not necessarily for members of the organization, although there have been members of the organization there from time to time. But it's open to anyone who needs it if it is available at the time.
Okay. So in the Utah Administrative Rules, this is Rule 884, 24P40. This section talks about parsonages, rectories, monasteries, and this is the rule for this type of facility or this type of building. We have to meet the following requirements. The land and building are owned by a religious organization which has qualified with the Internal Revenue Service as a 501c3 organization and which organization continues to meet the requirements of that section, which
I would confirm that, yes.
The building is occupied only by persons whose full-time efforts are devoted to the religious organization and the immediate families of such persons. That's the second. And the third is religious organization, the religious organization and not the individuals who occupy the premises pay all payments, utilities, insurance, repairs, and all other costs and expense related to the care and maintenance of the premise and facilities. So those are the requirements.
That home he's referring to is similar to what we do with the housing authority, where it's low income, under market usage.
Or a shelter.
Yeah, it's a shelter, so it's not necessarily a monastery type of thing or an office.
Correct.
Yeah, I would consider it more like a shelter, like what we do with refugee organizations.
Okay.
Right.
Is there like a low income standard for them for people to be able to rent to live there or something like that to show that it's charitable? Or?
We have not required that sort of thing, but all of the 10 families that I mentioned, they have all been single mothers, and who obviously were in need of some financial help.
So I think we could probably approve it this year, but for future reference, having some sort of an application that would show some sort of a need for those that are housing would be good for like audit purposes.
Okay.
Right. So if this were to get audited, you would then be able to show that there is a charitable need for those people moving forward. It wouldn't have to be extensive, just enough documentation to show that this was being used for charitable purposes rather than just a favor for a friend.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, Madam Chair, and I would probably emphasize that in this case, both properties, I think there's no question about the charitable use of the properties, but one property would be considered the religious exemption because it's being used as a meeting place, but the other property that's being used as a charitable outreach, which is fantastic, would have to probably meet the standard of the charitable standard. So it's just the two different types.
Right.
And there's a bit different requirements for the charitable. I don't think there's any question that it would qualify, but it's just a different format of the application.
I will say excuse me.
Yeah.
The Orem property also is used for meetings occasionally. For example, the last time we had our Yom Kippur meeting was at the Orem house, and also there are actually grapevines at the Orem house that the church uses to produce juice and wine for sacramental purposes.
Yeah, it sounds great. I would just say for future reference, maybe have an application that we could utilize for any audits.
Okay, thank you,
for that charitable use.
And so basically next year, when you apply for your continuing exemption, the property in Lehigh would be the religious renewal. The property in Orem would be probably considered a charitable renewal. So you'd want to do a charitable application for one and a religious application for the other.
Interesting. Thank you.
And he'd be a good one to follow up with.
Okay.
This is Vicki. I do have a question.
Please.
When he mentioned about these people staying in the Orem home, and after Adam read the requirements, does the church pay for the utilities, the rent, all that stuff for while those people stay there?
Yes.
And so they don't pay anything?
That is correct.
Okay.
And we're funded by donations.
All right. I think that answers all my questions.
And I'll make a motion that we approved agenda item number 17.
With the updates from Bert on the numbers.
Yes.
All right, I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, number 18, approve or deny the 2023 application for new property tax exemption for Heritage Behavioral Health Systems, serial number 0002.
This is the same property that was on the agenda in November, well, October and November, where they were waiting for their occupational license so that they could move people in. And so he may want to speak on that.
Along with another property that we had submitted as a new application as well, that is not being presented here.
What does look, there's, or do you have as items 18 and 19 both for?
The other one is a renewal.
Okay.
19 is a renewal.
And 18 is
18
new.
is a new application. Okay. And like I say, there was another property that was a new application that has not yet completed that those requirements for the license for that facility. Even though the license is the same as Heritage Schools as a whole. So even 19, that facility is the same operation. And we talked about this before, that that even though kids are not in there being educated, it's still for that same purpose. Similar to a school. And my question is on 11, I believe it was, the Holbrook and IHC, where those construction projects are not completed. I was curious on the previous application last year that was denied.
So for the IHC, that's for their personal property, and they don't have any personal
Okay.
property on site yet.
On site, okay.
Right.
And not for the real
And not
property.
for the physical property.
Okay.
That was just for the personal
I just
property,
wanted to
that there
clarify
isn't
that.
any equipment on site yet.
Yeah. So that is the property that we're looking at, is the 450 South Orem address in 18.
And you now have the occupation?
We do. Yep, we do have the license from the state Department of Human Services, and we have kids there housed right now.
Okay.
They are housed in that facility at that address?
In that property at that address, yes.
Is it, are they enrolled in the program?
They are, yes. Okay. Yep. So it's a continuum of care. So we have several locations where kids will receive an increase in their abilities as they work through their program, and they'll receive additional privileges, such as being able to apply for a job, get driver's ed, get a driver's license, and move through their program. So we'll move them from residence to residence.
Okay. While we're here, we might as well address item number, sorry, Vicki, did you have another question?
Yeah, I wanted to know when the children moved into the home.
I do not have a date with me, but it was, I want to say mid-February.
End of February?
Mid-February?
Mid-February.
Yeah.
Do we need a more specific date, or would we start as of March 1st or February 1st, if it was in February?
I believe that, and maybe we need to look to our legal expert for more expert opinion, but I believe the law essentially allows that once the property qualifies, that then they because I don't think the law makes a designation about a partial year exemption. It's basically once the property
So it doesn't. So as
clarifies.
long as it was this year. we're
Yeah.
good. Okay. All right.
Anything more?
I don't think I have anything else to add there.
No.
Then I will move to approve agenda item 18.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. All right, number 19, approve or deny the 2023 charity plan and annual statement for continued property exemptions for Heritage Behavioral Health Systems with the listed serial numbers. Yeah.
So for the next few, what we would just ask of the the applicants who are here is to come up and if they could just address how they have met their charity plan last year and how they plan to meet the charity plan for this year.
So yeah, we offer scholarships to kids that attend heritage schools, deep discounts into their tuition as they enroll, because most families cannot afford the cost of treatment. We discount that at a lower rate for those cash pay families. Additionally, we provide scholarships when a student has moved through those programs and there's just a few more months for them to attend and complete their program. And program complete, we offer discounts to those individuals as well to finish that treatment out, as the parents have exhausted much of their funds by the time they have reached that point. Additionally, we provide scholarships to students that have graduated the program and attend college. And so those kids that go on for additional education can apply for scholarships, and those are awarded to those students as well.
Any other questions?
I have no other questions, so with that, I'm happy to recommend we approve agenda number 19.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes
Thank you.
2-0. Thank you. Item number 20, approve or deny the 2023 charity plan and annual statements for continued property tax exemption for community nursing services, personal property account number 22669. Is there anybody here from community nursing services?
And unfortunately, I don't see anyone raising their hand online to present.
Right.
So perhaps we should continue this
Yep,
one.
let's continue
Then I'll
that one.
motion that we continue agenda number 20.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. Right, 21, approve or deny the 2023 charity plan and annual statement for continued property tax exemptions for Mission at Alpine Rehabilitation Center. Do we have anybody here with them?
Yeah, I do have someone raising their hand online, Michelle Hardman.
Okay. Michelle?
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me?
We can.
Wonderful. So I'm the administrator here at Mission at Alpine Rehabilitation Center, and we are a long-term care skilled nursing facility in Utah County. Some different things that we offer. We support BYU and Mountainland Applied Technology College, Joyce College by offering a training, on-the-job training site for their students to, have them see what's available, what long-term care looks like. As a result, many of their students have started careers here with us. To further community education, we provide meeting sites for several local health agencies, resource groups. We hold the Professionals for Seniors, which is like an open house style event every September, where we give education on our Eden culture change initiatives. We participate in the Alzheimer's Association for memory care and all sorts of different community events.
Okay. Do you have any questions? All right.
Vicky's not chiming in, so I think we're good. Then I'll make a motion to approve agenda number 21.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. Item number 22, approve or deny the 2023 charity plan and annual statement for continued property tax exemptions for Mountain Lands Community Health Center. Do we have somebody from Mountain Lands here?
Yes, I believe I've got Eric Johnson, and let me go ahead and add him in.
All right.
Hello, this is Eric Johnson. Appreciate the opportunity to discuss this continued charity care plan and exemption. No real big changes for Mountain Lands over the past year, although 2023 and probably 2024 will have a few changes for us. We continue to provide medical care, behavioral health care, dental care, pharmaceutical care, throughout Utah County and out in Uinta County. We've been really fairly stable in staffing and patient loads over the last year, and are excited in hopefully either late 2023 or early 2024. We're moving our Payson location and co-locating with Wasatch Behavioral Health down there in Payson. I believe Todd Bailey met with you earlier this year to talk about that, and are excited that that project, which was initially slated for mid-2024 completion, is now either November, December, or maybe January of 2023 or 24, or is slated for completion now. So that's kind of where we're at, and I would, of course, welcome any questions.
I have none.
I reviewed it earlier. I don't have any questions. I'll make a motion that we approve agenda number 22.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes.
Madam Chair, if I may, these next three agenda items, these are all, obviously all the continuing statements that were filed by the exempt organizations to renew their property tax exemption for either personal property or real property. Vicki has divided those into educational, religious, and charitable. Typically, these organizations are not requested to have an individual appear to answer questions unless it's either requested by the board or by the attorney or auditor's office as we review their application. So just so you know, there's not by default someone requested to appear.
Okay.
There's 165 pages of one and nearly 200 of the other, and
Very light reading.
Does the auditor's office have any questions on any of those?
We don't have any questions on either 23 or 24, but there are four organizations we would like to have polled and continued until next month on item number 25. In our final review today, we had some further questions, and we realized that we didn't get enough information from them. We'd like to a chance to invite them to come and get some further clarification about their applications. The four organizations under 25 we'd like to have continued from that batch is the Libertas Institute. We'd like to have the Salem Shooters Soccer Club continued, the Hewish Performing Arts, and then the last one was Assisted Living.
Assisted Living Foundation.
Assisted Living Foundation. Those four, we just need some additional information from their application. We realized we hadn't gotten it, and we'd like to give them a chance to come and clarify that and give us a little bit more time to get those finalized.
Did you say all of those were under item number 25?
Those are all under item number 25. And unless Adam can help me jog my memory, I don't know, and I'll also let Vicki and Adam, I don't know that we have any questions on any of the organizations within 24 or 23.
And I didn't have any of those.
You know, Bert, you're exactly right. We didn't have any questions on number 23 and 24, and the organizations that you addressed under 25 are accurate.
Okay. So I think we can entertain a motion to pass items 23, 24, and 25 with the exception of the four that were called out under item number 25.
I can second that motion.
Well, I said I will entertain a motion. You have to make the motion. I can't make it as the chair.
I'll make a motion that we approve the list on item 23, the very long list in item 24, and those items in 25, with the exception of the four addressed by you brought out.
I will second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-0, and we'll see those four continued to the next meeting. Thank you. All right, item number 26, approve or deny the application for review by the Board of Equalization of the Farmland Assessment Act status. Gillies, Bonner, Elmo, and Diane Evan. Serial number 003300032. And account numbers 291-2023 and 292-2023 continued from February.
I'd like to speak here. My name's Lynn Swenson. I rent from Bonner on this ground. I farm probably 450 acres in Spanish Fork area. Run probably 300 mama cows. At any one time, I'm feeding 700 head of cattle. And I've leased this ground from Bonner for 5-6 years, something such as that. I want to start out with the Utah Code 59-2503. Qualifications for agricultural use assessment. For general property tax purposes, land may be assessed on the basis of the value of that land that has for agricultural use if that land, A, is not less than 5 contiguous acres in area, except for the land that may be assessed on the basis of the value that the land has for agricultural use. Subsection, or I, if the land is devoted to agricultural use in conjunction with other eligible property, and some of this property is less than 5 contiguous acres, says in conjunction with his other property, which is about 25 acres that I farm also. And if the land and other eligible acreage described in subsection 1, small a, I, big A, have identical legal ownership. Semicolon. That should be the and. If he qualifies there, that should qualify it. Then it says or. So if it says and, it would say he'd have to qualify for all this other. The or, he already qualifies for that with what I just read. I put horses on his place in Springville. Yeah, it's under 5 acres, but it still qualifies with the other acreage that I do farm. Without all these farms, I couldn't do. I lease probably 350 acres of my ranch from other individuals. I couldn't keep going with my operation without all of these operations, these smaller parcels. If he has to pay more property tax, my rent goes way up and I can't afford it. So this is one part of my operation that I put horses on. So any questions for me?
I don't. So, and you farm, you said total about 350 acres?
I farm totally about 450 acres.
450, okay.
I run on 100,000 acres cattle in Diamond Fork, and I've got about 700 acres in Idaho as well, range country.
Okay. And you've got you said you have two parcels, right? He has 2 parcels?
Yeah, there's two parcels at my residence, and they've actually been in Greenbelt for around 45 years. It's never been a question. And this property here, the letter that I got, it had name recognition from the county, and I assumed that they hadn't, what I had done, the asphalt and shingles that took over the property below Springville that I had. And so I actually made a land exchange. Property exchange for the 22 acres actually, in Spanish Fork River bottoms. And I hooked these parcels in my residence with those. It was just exactly, all I did was just transfer the property.
And they have the same legal description,
Yes.
same legal name.
The same legal description. And
Same
like I
legal
say, when I got the letter, that's what it said was name recognition, you know.
And the names are the same on both properties.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. So I see Ben wants to say something.
Yeah, I'll speak to this one a little bit.
Okay.
Ben Stanley with the County Attorney's Office. So this item was continued from last month's Board of Equalization because I believe there was an argument that 80% of the income was generated from this property. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or you're not relying on that?
And we didn't.
I rely on my
I wasn't
own-
aware. I wasn't aware at that time that there were 2 properties. I thought there was just 1.
I believe there are 2 parcels. I think there's 2 sliver parcels. Yeah, less than an acre, but
In
2.
Springville. The other's in Spanish Fork's 22 acres.
And so I'll read just briefly from this again is the standards of practice from the Utah Tax Commission. This is what they look at as they interpret the code. They apply these standards of practice when we take issues up on appeal to the Tax Commission. They're looking at for parcel of land smaller than 5 acres may qualify for assessment under the provisions of the Farmland Assessment Act if it, 1, is used in conjunction with a qualifying 5 or more contiguous acres that is located in the same county and has identical legal ownership, has a direct relationship to the total agricultural enterprise, makes a significant contribution to the enterprise's total production, and meets all other requirements set forth in 592503. And so what the Tax Commission is looking for is all those things. If it's in the identical ownership, that's a piece of the puzzle. It's also got to have a direct relationship to the total agricultural enterprise and make a significant contribution to the enterprise's total production.
Yeah.
And so what the assessment analyst of the county has determined is that a horse on these properties isn't making a significant contribution to the total agricultural enterprise.
Do you use those horses to round up your cattle?
Exactly.
Okay.
I make a
100,000
motion,
acres, you have to.
I'm with you.
make a motion that we approve item number 26.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. That passes 2-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate
Item
your
number,
time.
item number 27, approve or deny application for review by the Board of Equalization of Farmland Assessment Act status for Viana Elio, serial numbers 0051 and 0063, GB account numbers 295, 2023, and 296, 2023.
Hi, I'm Sam Lambert, and I'm here with the property owner, Elio Viana, and we're glad to be here on this fine spring day.
I saw all the flowers growing outside.
Yeah. The governor said to pray for snow, and apparently we have an incredibly righteous population who prayed for snow. Now, if they'll just pray for it to warm up slowly, we'll all be okay, and your farms won't flood. Lord willing. Okay, continue.
So we have a similar appeal here, just with a greenbelt property assessment. Mr. Viana owns two parcels that are adjacent to each other. One of those is, I think it's 4.73 acres, and the adjacent parcel, and with the two parcels combined, there's 5 acres that are used for agricultural purposes. So he's planning to use the property for cattle. He has had cattle in the past, and they broke down the fence, and so he has a pending application to get some new fences built so he can rotate the cows through the land over the course of the year.
That's why I ranched sheep, because they knock over way less fences than cattle.
And we're happy to work with the county to make sure that there's the correct number of cows so we meet the AUM requirement. These gentlemen, I'm sure, understand that the cow requirements better than I do, and you can tell just by looking at me versus them.
Okay. I don't look like a farmer today, so it's okay. All right. I don't know. I don't have much of a history on this one. Is this this isn't a continued one, correct?
This is not continued, no.
I'll pull that up. Ben, you want to give us your thoughts real quick on that?
Yeah, so board members, this is a new application that didn't show up last month, so it's not a continued one. The issue with this one from the county's perspective is there are images that have been submitted that you probably have in your agenda system that you can see from both sides show what actually happened on this property, and the reason why the county's farmland assessment analyst removed this one from greenbelt status was because there was no production at all. There are paving companies there. It's an industrial parcel, not a agricultural parcel from the images that we can see. What it shows is a number of vehicles that are there that do concrete work and paving of various kinds, and so we don't see any agricultural production at all. And what the Farmland Assessment Act requires under state law is not a plan to start bringing cattle on in the future. It requires the last 2 years we've established production and agricultural AUM, animal units per month, that were sufficient to justify greenbelt status today. And so what the county is, what the assessor's office is recommending we do is deny this application and work with this applicant to get on greenbelt status in the future as they do get those fences up. If they do bring in cattle and start generating some agricultural production, they may be eligible, but right now they are not. And in the last 2 years, they have not been. We can have the assessment analyst come and testify to that and talk about what she's seen and what the photographs show, if that would be helpful at this time.
Well, let's ask, when is the last time you had cattle on that property?
Yeah, we had last year.
Last year? How many cattle did you have last year?
We have 2.
2 last year?
And a horse.
What would the AUMs for that property be?
I can speak to that, Diane, about what would be the appropriate AUMs.
So the AUMs would be 5.21 AUM per acre.
5.2.
Per acre.
Per acre.
So that's months. So you can meet with 2 cows on for a sufficient period of time. Multiply that would be 24 months. 24 AUMs in a year with just the 2 cows, right? So the rollback notice does not talk about agricultural production. It only says insufficient acreage in this ownership. We'd be happy to, provide information about, the use of the property, but the actual rollback notice doesn't bring that up as a topic. So the only thing we came prepared to discuss is the amount of acreage, because that's the only thing on the notice. But we would be happy to, like I said, if the county wants to work with us over the course of the next year and look at the production on the property, we'd be happy to look at that over the course of this year. But if the county, if Mr. Viana doesn't meet the production requirements this year, the county could always roll it back in 2023 and still get the 5 years worth of taxes.
Yeah. When you say last year, you had 2 cows last year, was that in 2022 or was that in 2021?
21 and 22.
You had in both 21 and 22.
And the industrial, the first part is not, the city did not let me use as light industrial.
Right. So there is the front parcel, part of it is used for light industrial purposes, but the back parcel is agricultural use.
You said there's 2 parcels here. What's the total acreage of the 2 parcels?
Yeah, but the city did not allow their shoot.
So one of the parcels is 4.73 acres, and the other one is about 0.75. Is that right?
And how much of the parcel is utilized?
Sorry, we switched people while you were looking down. So whenever I roll back something and it says insufficient acreage in this ownership, that means insufficient acreage in agriculture production. So they did not have 5 acres in agriculture production. They may own 20 acres, but I look at what is in agriculture production. So the whole front parcel, that 0.75, does not have any agriculture production. It's a home and it's some commercial industrial buildings. And then the back acres has, if you can see in the photos that they provided you as a supplemental, there's a big gravel parking area, and there's a stall, a corral that has a horse in it, you can see in the photo, but the rest of the photos are not showing any agricultural production or anything that looks like, growth, crops or anything that is being produced. So when I roll back something and it says insufficient acreage in this ownership, it means that there's not 5 acres in agriculture production.
So just to clarify, the photos that we provided were photos that were taken a week or 2 ago. He can't magically have the grass grow in the middle of the winter, and we received the notice just a month or 2 ago. So the reason that the land looks barren right now is just because it's winter.
So even with that, the question is if there's 0.75 of the land, if that front section is home and industrial, then the back section is still only 4.73. So that's shy of the 5 needed for a full green belt. However, if you've got production for cows, I don't know, like a receipt from a butcher that you used to when you got those butchered, or a receipt from sale if you sold them, to show that you raised those cattle, this could possibly qualify for urban greenbelt. So between 1 acre and 5 acres, we have urban greenbelt. In that case, you do have to prove production every year, so you would have to bring receipts in every year. Above 5 acres, we can do standard greenbelt, but between 1 and 5 acres, it would be urban greenbelt, and he could roll from greenbelt to urban greenbelt, and the legislature just passed a law that allowed us to defer rollback with a rollover from regular greenbelt to urban greenbelt that should take effect, I think it's May 1st. Yeah, for the urban farming for the rollback. So there is still an opportunity to roll from the standard greenbelt to the urban greenbelt, even with the 4.73, as long as there's some sort of a receipt that there were cattle on that land. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And part of the front parcel is used in connection with the back parcel. So like there's a horse pasture that includes part of the front parcel, and it's where they would store supplies and feed for use in the back.
Okay.
part.
Would it be helpful for you if we continued this until April 20th so that you could come up with those measurements for us to let us see if you could get to the 5 acres and show that you had the cows? Would that be helpful? Okay.
And maybe in between now and then, you could talk to the assessor's office, see if urban farming is the right way to go.
Okay.
Yeah, or if you can prove the 5 acres were used for production.
One or the other, yes.
One or the other.
So I'll make a motion that we would continue item number 27 to the next BOE.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Madam Chair, and before we wrap up, I'd just like to have on the record to note that both Greenbelt and urban farming do have hard deadline application dates. I believe sometime in May. Diane could clarify that, but once we get past that, they are not able to apply for a new exemption moving forward. So we are going to be coming up on the deadlines here pretty soon. So
Yes,
just want to make
the
sure that was
applications
clear.
in before the deadline in May.
Okay.
So work with her on that.
Thank you.
All right.
Seeing nothing else on the agenda, I'll entertain a final motion.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Get that agenda. On my iPad. I couldn't get those pictures to pull up on my iPad.
I didn't want to use my